Ivy Egypt is the magic behind the company's best days. Ivy Egypt for training and consultancy and empowerment will show how to do rankings, what are rankings, and how to use them during consulting projects.
Rankings introduction. Time and again you'll want to compare things that are difficult to compare and to choose the preferred one. Therefore, you would like to somehow rank them. So the first step is to name the options, then assign points to them, and on the basis of this, rank them, so sort them from the preferred one to the least desired. So in our case, option 5, as it got the biggest number of points, went to the top, whereas option 4, having the lowest number of points, went to the bottom. Now let's talk about when we can use the rankings. So first of all, it makes a lot of sense when you want to pick one of the options. So you want to check which is the best preferred one, and you use the ranking to somehow tell you that. You also can use it to just create priorities for further action. So in our example where we had 5 options, we would say that we start with option 5 as the one having the biggest number of points, and then we move on to putting into force the rest of options. You can also use the rankings to rank people and team members. First of all, internally, in order to know what to do with them. So should you develop them or put them for promotion, or maybe get rid of them. You can obviously also rank business ideas, especially if there are something not that easy measurable, then rankings are very useful. Quite often rankings are also part of a motivation system, especially if we are talking about people which might have a great impact on the results, like the salesman. Salesmen usually, as a part of the motivation system, have a part that depends on their place in the rankings of people within the same cohort, within the same group. So the sales representative compared to the sales representative, and then the area directors with the area directors. And last but not least, rankings are great for creating benchmarks. So you can also use it to create internal benchmark or external, so that the people know what they should strive for. In the next slide, I'll try to summarize how you should do your rankings. Obviously, we'll go into details into next lectures where you will have in-depth examples. So first of all, you should define the criteria you will use to create the rankings, and obviously the weights. In this case, it means how important certain criteria is. So you may have 3 criteria, but they don't have to be equally important. So one of them can be much more important than the rest, and therefore you use the weights to somehow reflect it. The second stage is defining options, or the projects you want to somehow rank using the criteria and the weights. Having done this, you can move on to gathering data, so information that will enable you to, using the criteria, also somehow judge the options defined. In the fourth step, you put everything together, so you calculate basically the points using the criteria for every option, and then on the basis of this, you can create the ranking. And last but not least, you pick the preferred option. Bear in mind that you can pick the preferred option not only on the basis of the ranking, but you might also have some sort of additional criteria that you didn't put in the ranking, and this, in the last stage, those additional criteria should be somehow taken into account. In the next lectures, I'll go into details with 2 examples of creating ranking. So in the first one, you'll be put in the shoes of a milk producer that wants to expand his brand, and in the second example, you will be in charge of the fashion business that wants to decide where to go to in terms of foreign markets, how to enter them, and also will for this purpose use the ranking. So enjoy the next lectures, and if you have any questions, just let me know.